Hi, I am here for my interview to become a Nordstrom fashion buyer. Question one reads, think of a time which you faced a problem either at work or in your personal life and you successfully resolved it. Now write down answers to the following questions. So instead, I'm going to say out my answers. The first question reads, what was the problem and where did it occur and who was involved? So the problem was, this was when I was working at Nordstrom Rack during COVID-19 in 2020. We had a lot of people who were stealing merchandise. They were all of a sudden, a bunch of them come into the store and then just grabbed random merchandise, blow dryers, fanny packs, hats, and they just all walked out with these items. And that was a big problem because we couldn't make our day in our sales, and which and also we were losing customers. Customers were looking at us and these people and were going, "What the heck?" I like they were all we were all surprised, unfortunately, and it occurred at Nordstrom Rack. Who was involved? The whole staff, the people who stole the things. It was me, and then my former manager at the time. And what was the solution? So my former manager at the time, she got together with my coworkers and and we had a little meeting, and we discussed about strategies in engaging with customers and um, having a plan to reorganize our store. And this way, two of those things, reorganizing, engaging, it helps to reduce theft. We have a high rate of theft in 2020, 2021. And like it went down though. I mean, it took some time, but we were able to keep persisting, keep on being resilient on those targeted things. And like we were able to still engage with those customers. And like if customers had maybe like an item in their handbag, we would come up to them and maybe ask, are you ready for checkout? And we would help them at the checkout station. Or if it's something really fishy or uncertain, like if one customer maybe is carrying the item out of the store, like walking out with them, I personally, I'm brave. I mean, to a certain extent, I do come up to the customer and ask, "Are you ready for checkout?" Like, while as they're walking out, and or like I call security if they end up walking out of the store, and so I think it's knowing your protocol is always important, like to help solve the solution. And the solution was that it was we were able to develop a better approach with people, and we had to change some things because I mean we were in a situation at the time where there wasn't yet a vaccine available for COVID-19, and there were it was there were a lot of stressed people. And why did you select this solution? Oh, I selected it because it always reminds me of Nordstrom's mission statement is to always have a fast and friendly checkout and to satisfy the fashion needs of all customers. And Nordstrom Rack, at the prices we're at, and we're a very personal slash fashionable store. We always want people to look really good, and we can do that. Like I also find like the I mean we're very good in skincare. So like one of the lessons I've learned from this experience of the people of losing our product and merchandise it's 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 I mean it's all about the sales. I mean whatever we lose, we have to gain it back somehow, and that's harder to do that. So to help prevent it from happening, engage with the customer. And like for instance, with I was mentioning about skincare a few seconds ago, and like that really is big like nowadays. And I mean, reason why is because I mean people want to look good and they want to appear really well. And skincare, it's I mean for hundreds of I mean like it's hundreds of years. It's always kind of has like a makes people have like a higher self-esteem. And now with more advanced skincare, it's we have like certain products like Neutrogena, for instance. We have the Neutrogena pink grapefruit product that we sell sometimes that has a salicylic acid inside. So the salicylic acid basically burns out the pimples, and that can help with acne appearance. And the acne would then diminish with the salicylic acid. However, it's good for a certain extent, and overusing the salicylic acid can also cause irritated skin, and that's always good to consult with a doctor. But it's an over-the-counter product. Technically, it's very safe to use and very user-friendly. And I am really that's like one of the lessons I've learned. And with similar problems, it's um, where this now goes on to question two, where now think of a time you where I unsuccessfully solved a problem in my work life. Was there was a part where we always encourage there was where we always encourage surveys. Surveys are always key to maintaining good feedback to our store, and getting positive feedback from other customers helps. Other customers will want to shop at our store. And so there was an incident where um, I I was misinformed, or I misunderstood a customer who wanted to who was um, ended up not wanting to take. There was a situation where I misunderstood a customer who was taking a survey with us, and then thought that she was buying a product, but it turns out that she wanted to buy something rather than take the survey, but ended up doing our survey. And then also her language barrier was English, and so I got a poor survey about it was on me where I was helping the customer do a survey. And so now we no longer do, to a certain extent, we now don't let the employee and customer finish through the survey. We let the customer now just work on the rest of the survey on their own, and then kind of help guide them to the survey. And then this was when I was talking with my manager. She helped tell me that she helped me figure out a strategy, and like we were able to instead just kind of like encourage survey, but not having to help the customer. So we no longer, like, to a certain extent, go over the extent of helping the customer on this finishing the survey. And then like thinking of someone that I know who is very good at solving problems is my dad. I mean, I'm not a dad's boy or a mama's boy, but I do have space with my parents, between my parents and I. And But while growing up with my dad, Um, he he had a problem with trying to find a place here in Bellevue. Not here in Bellevue, but close, very close to Kirkland, and um, it was hard for him because he couldn't find a place to afford. And he did found one place, and he ended up he was bargaining with the seller, and it was him and the seller, and they figured out a solution. The seller was able to sell at such a low price that my dad was able to afford it and buy it. And this was because the seller was on paternity leave, and he needed a house, so he needed the money quick. And so that fortunately was good on my dad's side because he was able to have a that save an opportunity cost. So he was, in that case, that the seller could have made extra, technically lost that opportunity cost by reducing the price. So that worked out on my dad's side because he was able to save more. And then what was the solution? Or what steps did the person follow in solving the problem? So after the solution of buying the place was it was left as it was. There was no remodeling done. The walls needed a repaint. And then the rooms they had a little thick kind of smell to them that was not like the greatest. Definitely needed some Bath and Body Works products or Nordstrom candles because it needed some better smell to it. So my dad did some repainting. Some steps he took was repainting, and then also doing the carpeting, redoing that. And yeah, so that worked out good because, and then I was observing at the time too, and then also helping my dad with the furniture, and we ended up and that actually worked out for my dad really well, and he was really happy about it. And what lessons can I learn from this and apply it? Well, I mean, when you think about the rational decision making that my professor at Northwest University, Dr. Trope, was talking about. So the rational decision making, there are the 4 steps where the first step is you gotta identify your problem, and then the second step is you then try to take the initiative to figure out how to solve it, and the third and fourth is you actually do it, and then you evaluate what had happened or what could have been better. So it's always about the sales at Nordstrom. And I think being as a buyer there, it will really benefit the company because I'm really, well, I've been interested in like getting to know, like engaging better, like products are really huge things. So if we can engage customer by using the right products, then they'll want to be able to come back to our store more often. And I think being a buyer will help with that because the last thing I want is like to see a customer who looks at the product and then walks away without buying it, and or maybe he or she's questioning like. So I mean, it's really just you want to get the right product. So I mean, for me, I can help with Nordstrom on that because like I kind of have a feel on by talking with these customers like, okay, these are things that they're like, their interests, and we need something that's also convenient. And like we so far have a great mission on like we got more Nike products, we got more Kim Kardashian Skims, so it's great for our store. And I guess more lessons. So I mean that's part irrational decision making is really key, and I greatly appreciate that from Dr. Troll. And thank you for listening to my interview.